Place repeater here. Place button here. Push button. Welcome to Ye Old Redstone tutorial with Zapagalis. Hello again, kings, queens, knights, and peasants. Welcome to another Ye Old Redstone tutorial. Today we'll be building a iron farm - villager trading hall. Now, I'm going to split the video up into multiple sections. Section 1 will be the main iron farm build. Section 2 will be the trading hall build. And Section 3 will be troubleshooting. So let's get to it. It's a simple build, but rather large. Okay, we're going to start with the main iron farm. For it, you're going to need a ton of building blocks. Glass is optional, but I like to use it. And you'll need water buckets. At least 2 of them, but yeah, however you want to do that. So first thing you need to do is make a 21 by 21 square. So 1, 2, 3, 20, 21. 1, 2, 3, 20, 21. Okay, once you have that, you need to fill it in. Okay, once you have a 21 by 21 square, go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And now make another 21 by 21 square on top. Okay, so now you should have 2 21 by 21 squares with 4 spaces in between them. With that done, make yourself a border around the outside edge. And then place a bucket of water in each corner. Okay, now's the time to pause and make sure you did this right. If you did it right, you should have 3 spaces between the ends of the water on all things. If you do not have this, fix it now. Okay, now that's the main structure for the iron farm. So let's do our kill chamber now. For the kill chamber, you are going to need your building blocks. Again, glass is optional, but it's fun to watch them die. 9 hoppers, 1 chest, 20 beds, 1 lava bucket, 9 fireproof gates. It can be crimson or warped wood, but just as long as they're fireproof. And 9 soul campfires. You can also use regular campfires, but those will actually do less damage. So come to the middle of your farm. The easiest way to find the middle is to just come up here and find out where that 3 by 3 meets. And then knock out a 3 by 3 hole. Okay, with that done, make sure you're lined up. And now start building out your kill chamber. I don't recommend filling it all the way in yet, but at least make sure you have that top layer there, which makes sure that you are lined up, and you'll need it for bed placement. Now place a roll of temporary blocks around that. And then in survival mode, you're going to have to build yourself a platform to place the beds. Because I'm in creative, so I'm going to fly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, once you have 20 beds placed down, just like that, destroy your temporary blocks. Okay, and now come up on top. And place your 9 trapdoors. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, with your 9 trapdoors done, open every single one of them. Make sure they all are all open or it'll mess up the farm. Now, crouch click and place the lava bucket right in the middle. So that is how you do your lava blade. Now come down underneath, figure out which way you want this thing facing. Place your chest. And then place a 3x3 grid of hoppers all flowing into that chest. Now take your soul campfires. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And place them down. And now just seal everything in with your building block of choice. Okay, that is your kill chamber. Now the final step in the kill chamber is to grab your water bucket. And on one side, go all the way across. On the other side, go all the way across. Now if you did that right, you should have a strip of 3 blocks going in, but nothing flows into the middle. Now here you want to place a water bucket on the edge here, on the opposite edge, and right in the middle, so that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will cause the water to all flow right towards that center point with no still spots. So on the other side, do the same thing. Edge, edge, middle. And there you go. That is the iron farm portion of this. Okay, so the next step is to build the trading hall component. For this, you are going to need your building blocks, 38 trapdoors of any kind, 20 villagers, and 20 workstations of whatever you want the villagers to be. Okay, so the first thing is to build out a back wall. Okay, once you have the back wall, now if you want all 20 villagers on the one side, you can do it like this, but you can really place the villagers inside it however you want. They can even be free roaming if you want, but that's a little more complicated for trading. Okay, once that is done, take your trapdoors. Well, not there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And place them down so that you have 20. You actually only need 10 villages, but if you do 20, you maximize the usage of the farm. As long as maximize your iron production rate. So yeah, by doing it just like that, you'll have 20 spaces exactly for villages. Oh, also you need to place trapdoors along the top right here. Okay, so that's what your villager station should look like. Now, it is important you make sure the villagers get placed in right next to the workstation. And this guy's a dummy. That got him to move. Okay, anyways, once he is ready, push. Open up the trapdoor you're trying to place him in. Push him into place. and move his workstation to him. I highly recommend you lock in his trade. Once he is in the hole, close the trapdoor above his head. That will lock him into place and he cannot move. Now would be the time to lock in his profession if you have not done it yet. Now simply do that 19 more times. Okay, so once you have your villages in place, this farm is actually completely done. So, okay, once you turn mob spawning on, it should not take long to get a cat. Okay, one more quick thing on this is you actually want to spawn-proof this ledge here. So grab a quick slab and surround it to make this non-spawnable. And there you have a fully functional iron farm. Also string farms. And you can also, with your villagers, you can trade with them whatever you want. Okay, all that's left is tips, tricks, and troubleshooting for this farm. First off, you really want to close this in and light it up. Because you don't want a zombie to get in and kill all your villagers. That would be very bad. Okay, so the next tip is you notice there's a lot of extra space here. That is great because this area can literally double as a storage home. Okay, now for troubleshooting. If you do not have golems spawning, there are several reasons. First off, make sure that all villager is in front of his designated workstation. If for some reason you get them mixed up, say this one and this one. Yeah, say this guy links to this workstation and the other guy links to this one. Now these guys cannot work at their workstation because they'll switch around. In order for golems to spawn, 75% of these guys have to work in the previous day. So if you got them all mixed up, they cannot work, golems cannot spawn. But if golems are not spawning inside the farm, check on the outside. If there was a golem wandering around out here, it means no more will spawn inside. So make sure that all golems have spawned inside the farm. If they haven't, you need to kill any extra and find out why they spawned outside. Another possible issue is stray villagers. If there is a villager outside, he will be considered part of the village, but if he is not in a bed, no golems will spawn, because all villagers must be linked to a bed. So if you have any stray villagers, kill them. On a related note, if there is a villager linked to a bed that's outside the farm, you will shift the center of the farm so iron golems may spawn over here on the ground instead of over here. Again, that is a problem, so kill the villager. The beds are okay if there is no villagers linked to them. So it's okay to have stray beds, just make sure nobody's linked to it. Okay, one final tip, if you do not want cats spawning inside the farm, you can actually stop it simply by taming a few cats and just making them sit around around or inside the farm. Alright, so that is how you build an easy and relatively efficient bedrock iron farm. Thank you all for watching, and keep on rocking Knights of the Bedrock.